All of the muscle relaxants are a form of what we call neurotoxin or an endoprotease. An endoprotease is a protein that cuts another protein. That's all they are. They're a protein that cuts another protein. So all of these agents basically work the same way. And if you can imagine, my arm is a nerve cell and my fist is a muscle. The nerve cell sits on top of the muscle like this. When an electrical impulse comes down the nerve cell, inside this part of the nerve cell, it's called the terminal end plate, there's a protein. It's called SNAP25, and it actually sits up like this. When that electrical impulse comes down the nerve, this protein, SNAP25, actually changes conformation or shape. It actually bends like this from the electrical impulse. When it bends like that, it's pushing granules of acetylcholine through the nerve cell. And when those granules of acetylcholine hit the muscle, it contracts. That's how muscles work. All of these agents, Botox, Dysport, Xeomin, they all work the same way. Remember, I said they're endoproteases, a protein that cuts another protein. So here is Botox, Dysport, Xeomin, the protein scissors. It cuts the top off of SNAP25. So when that electrical impulse comes down the nerve, there's nothing to bend, no acetylcholine is released, so the muscle doesn't contract. That's how all these agents work. The reason that I use Xeomin as my preferred agent is because it's a cleaner molecule than Botox. It has less associated proteins, so there's a less chance for a long-term immunological reaction. That's number one. Number two, Xeomin doesn't have to be cold shipped. A lot of individuals don't realize that Botox has to be cold shipped, meaning it has to be shipped on dry ice. And most of the Botox is made overseas, so it means it has to come from overseas, has to get to my office, and it has to be maintained at that dry ice temperature of minus 40 degrees, or it has the potential to deteriorate. And so I don't have control of the Botox from when it's made to when it gets to me, so I prefer to use Xeomin. In my experience, which is now almost 3 years of using Xeomin exclusively, I found it to be just as effective, lasts just as long. Another thing that a lot of clients don't realize is, we were talking about the cutting of SNAP25. That process, that cutting process, is enhanced by higher levels of intracellular zinc. So I like to make sure my clients understand that if they take zinc, preferably before, but also after for a few days, then they can actually enhance the effect of these agents, and it's actually been scientifically proven. I think realistically they tend to last about the same period of time. Can you get a bad batch of Botox? Absolutely. Can it go bad in the refrigerator? Absolutely. The same thing can happen with Xeomin, although I think it's less likely. All of these agents, once they're reconstituted, okay, will start to deteriorate over time. That said, if kept at a proper temperature in a refrigerator, they're usually good for 4 to 6 weeks once they're reconstituted. But they rarely last that long in the refrigerator, occasionally a day or two.